Hey guys, this is Alex McDaniel with AL.com coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, where we're here for the SEC Championship game. And we have Mr. SEC himself, Paul Finebaum, here to talk a little bit about the state of the SEC and how he thinks things are going to shake out tomorrow. So, first of all, what do you think is the biggest storyline in the SEC right now?
I think that I'm talking to you since I've seen all your videos on AL.com. No, all kidding aside, Alex, it's really about Alabama and the playoffs. That's really what this game has become. It's become a play-in game for the national championship, and this is not the best matchup. In fact, some people think it's one of the worst, but it is Alabama and Florida, and it makes everyone think back to the last time this game happened, which was 2009, and it was really the beginning of the Saban run.
And speaking of the Saban run, you had talked earlier this week at length, it's a touchy subject for some fans, but about what it might take for Saban to want to leave Alabama, not necessarily want to leave, but that it would be time to go. Kind of curious about your perspective. What would an SEC without Nick Saban as Alabama's coach look like?
Well, I mean, you're talking to someone who began his career covering the end of Paul Bryant, so it can survive, although he is the most dominant figure. It's ironic that Steve Spurrier in the 90s had a run going as well. He was in the SEC championship every year. He won 4 straight, but remarkably, Spurrier only won 1 national championship. He lost another matchup. With a win this year, that would be Saban's 5th. At Alabama, it would be 4 out of the last 9 years. I mean, this is just unbelievable when you consider how difficult it is to even play for the championship. So, I mean, I think the league would really be void of his celebrity, but and I said, I mean, every year someone says Saban's leaving, and one year someone will be right. I don't know whether he's going to leave or not. I just suspect that if he wins, considering his age, considering what little would be left for him to accomplish, adding in Kirby Smart leaving, Lane Kiffin probably leaving, others perhaps walking out, that it might be a good time to say, you know what, I've got 5 national championships, 4 at Alabama. I've won the SEC 2 straight years. I probably should have won it 4 straight years, except for 1 blown field goal in Auburn. And this would be a pretty nice place to leave it. He's told me repeatedly he doesn't want to retire. I asked him point blank 2 different occasions this summer when I was with him for an ESPN interview. But if Nick Saban came on the market on January 12th, the NFL would line up trying to hire him.
Looking ahead to the Heisman race, we obviously have a lot of strong contenders, but Derrick Henry is reaching out. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I mean, I think Derrick Henry just simply needs to have a good game tomorrow. He doesn't have to have 290 yards. He doesn't really even have to have 150. He just needs to play well. Alabama needs to win, and then the Heisman will be his. I've seen players lose the Heisman on the final week, though. 5 or 6 years ago, Mark Ingram won the Heisman based on a bad performance by the Texas quarterback. So I think Saban was cognizant of that at the end of the Auburn game. I mean, when he kept getting the ball. I think tomorrow, once this game is in hand, assuming it is, and Henry has had a pretty good game, I don't think he'll keep rushing him, because there's just no upside.
And we want to talk to you a little bit about SEC traditions. You've seen a lot of schools, you do a lot of traveling. Curious, what do you think is the best tailgating scene in the SEC?
Well, I mean, I have seen them all, and in various places they're unique, but considering I've been there about 3 or 4, actually 4 times in the last year, I would still have to go with the most obvious, and that's the Grove at Ole Miss. Everyone has a different scene, but it is just the coolest thing. I was there this year when I think at 3 or 4 o'clock everyone rushes in, and I mean, you always think it's not what you would want to see, because you're partial to your alma mater or where you've lived, which in my case is Tennessee and Alabama. But if someone called you and said, hey, I want to go to one SEC place, where would you take them? If they were in New York or LA or Chicago, it would probably be the Grove. It's just, it has such a unique aura around it. Although, I mean, that's a different question than what game or what atmosphere would you take them?
Exactly.
But you asked about tradition.
Well, do you have a favorite game day atmosphere, maybe overall, stadium, tailgating, everything?
Well, I really believe the Alabama LSU game in Tiger Stadium would probably be pretty high on my list. I mean, that game the last 7 or 8 years has been epic. I mean, the Iron Bowl, come on, I mean, it speaks for itself. I think depending on the year, I mean, yeah, I'd probably, if I had all season to take someone, I'd show them the Vol Navy. The Junction in Mississippi State this year was fabulous. I've always enjoyed going to Texas A&M. But yeah, I mean, I think for one game, it's Tiger Stadium when Nick Saban walks through the tunnel and everyone starts screaming and booing him. But I could add a few more to that. I'd love to see the Alabama-Tennessee game resonate again, since that was the game of my youth many years ago that you had to be at.
Yeah, and I think the spirit's still there behind it.
Coming back.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Paul. And stay tuned to all of our coverage of the SEC Championship game on AL.com.